very good strategy taking place from a number of individuals, different groups, trying to get Trump to testify in front of the January 6th Select Committee. So, of course, he was subpoenaed by the committee, meaning that in a legal sense, he should have to go. But we understand there's a million different stall tactics, and we'll see how that all actually plays out. But there's a lot of people who want him to actually testify, namely people on the left. And the tactic that they're using to try to get him to do that is beautiful. And it's to call out the fact that maybe you're not man enough, or Mr. Strongman can't testify. What, are you scared? Because if you were to make some moral argument, you should respect the process and go blah, 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 Trump's not going to care. But if you call him out for not being strong enough to testify, that might get him. And regardless of if he sees this or not, it is going to be a funny taunting moment to anyone who does see it, who supports him. So take a look at this from Meidas Touch. Just a great ad they put together on this subject.
What's the matter, Donald? The January 6th committee subpoenaed you and you're not going to show? You said you're such a strong man. You aren't a coward, are you? You aren't guilty, are you? Are you that afraid of Liz Cheney? They say you threw hamburgers at the wall. Well, your supporters know you would never waste a good hamburger. Oh, please, won't you come testify, Donald? Unless you're scared. Meidas Touch is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Ooh, unless you're scared. I don't know what would happen if Trump actually testified. That would be mayhem. Just seeing him clash, and they're cutting off his mic, and they're asking him, to listen to the full question and stop lying. But what the people around Trump are really afraid of is him getting stuck on a perjury charge, because he's going to go there, and what are they going to do? They're going to ask him questions about all of these subjects surrounding January 6th, about the election, and the only way that he feels comfortable in that moment is to scream about all the lies he's aware of in regard to the election, which could lead to perjury taking place. So Nancy Pelosi seems to be taking a similar tactic.
Speaking of democracy on the ballot. All right, take it to the bank. I have to ask you about the January 6th committee. On Friday, they officially subpoenaed Donald Trump. Do you think he'll actually appear for the deposition? And what does it say to the American people if he doesn't?
I don't think he's man enough to show up.
There we go. We covered that previously, but it applies nicely in tandem with that Meidas Touch ad. So that will be the most likely way. I would love to see the Lincoln Project and organizations like that run ads on Fox News in Florida and wherever he is at any given moment, as they've done before, to make sure he sees it. Because I think, I'm not even sure if you would necessarily get a lot of valuable information out of him testifying, but I do think you could create this moment that is both so historic and also so clear to the American public, and so many eyes would be on it, where he is exposed for the lies he's been telling, and the context that has been developed and nicely conveyed by the committee up until now, ending with him having to answer for some of the information that was revealed throughout this process, would be very fascinating to me. So we'll see. He has been subpoenaed, and apparently he is now required to turn over documents and show up himself by November 14th, I think was the figure, or the date. But we'll see what he does to try to prevent that from happening.